Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's really the framework thing. And the real cool thing about frameworks is they're not difficult to change. They just take the right type of techniques and right type of processes to be able to A, identify them, B, find out how they supported us, and then finally C, make a switch and take it.
That's really great. Now, what kind of changes can happen, both professionally and personally?
Well, I'll take an example of one fellow had, the one that had this, it was a client of mine, and he had a framework that I'm not good enough. And the framework came because he grew up in a really rough house. His father was bipolar, he used to beat his mother. He grew up very poor, and family treated him very poorly, and the city knew, they grew up in a very small town up north, and they were kind of like, in his own words, kind of the trash of the city, and everybody knew it. And when I met him, he was in his 30s, he was trying to do some business and it wasn't going very well. He never made a lot of money, and it was kind of a fluke that I ended up with this client, because normally people that work with are in the winning zone or trying to get a place higher, but I took a liking to him and we ended up working together. And after we found this framework, we tied it back to a second grade teacher that had said some things that were very difficult, and he ended up with this framework, I'm not good enough. When we finally found out where it was and we were able to open it up a little to see it, how it helped him all those years, and we changed it out, within 6 months he was a marketing director for a company making $100,000 a year.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
He had tripled his best year ever.
Yeah.
That was as far as in the professional. In the personal lives, there's a lot of stories I have of clients that in relationships with their wives, their kids, relationships with partners or people working in their businesses, relationship with customers or clients or family relationships, things changed dramatically in a very short period of time, because they've been able to see, well, I'm working under this framework, and this framework really served me well, but it's not serving me anymore. Let's find something new.
Wow, that's really great, and that's like a life, not only life altering, but also life changing, and that lasts.
Sure. So, but now here's the neat thing. Now you're going to change the frameworks to all these new frameworks that serve you now. Up the road, those are going to be the frameworks that are limiting you again.
Because you're constantly growing.
Yes.
And experiencing new things.
Sure. So when you get to that new level, that no, that's not working, you have to get to the new one, and then when you're ready to break through that level, you can go through the process again.
Wow.
And being that there's so many frameworks and they're all tied up with each other, what happens is we pop some of them, we move some of them, this becomes the limit one, and we move up, and now the one that had become the leader before it becomes the new limit.
Okay. Wow, wonderful. Now, there's a question I have, I want to always ask you in person. Now I got the chance. Lately, in a lot of top-selling books talk about energy and the universal laws, and with this newfound sense of freedom open you up to higher frequencies and energies and higher relationships, people,
I believe,
situations.
I believe there's something to that. In other words, I believe there is something to the fact that if you're an upbeat person, you're going to be around more upbeat people. If you're a down negative person, you're going to attract negative people. I think that this kind of concept has become kumbaya, let me sit and hum on my chair and think the right thoughts and the world's going to break. I don't think it works like that.
Okay.
I don't buy into that. And if you'll see, even like the movie The Secret, some of the people afterwards put out disclaimers. We don't want you to think the wrong thing. Bill Harris is the one that comes to mind. He had a 10-page letter he sent out to people who had a connection with him. Said, hey, wait a second. Don't just think you can just sit in the easy chair, hum and think the right thoughts, and all of a sudden money starts falling in. You got to get and do something. But what it does do is it'll allow you to put yourself in the right situations when you go out and things start to happen, connections start to happen, things happen in a different way because you're out making it happen.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for your time today.
Yep.
And this is really great. I hope to see you again and talk more about this. I do find this a very fascinating subject.
Sure.
Steve, what's your website?
Website is www.strategicshifts.com.
Okay, and you folks can see that right here. And what's that phone number, Steve, if they can contact you?
248-200-3488.
Wow. You're right here with Steve Lover. Amazing expert on personal and business relationships. And I want you folks to keep on watching out there. Ted Cantu with Hot Mitchell Finds. Thanks for watching.